At the start of World War II, the RAF had an urgent need for more fighter aircraft, and the British government asked North American if they could produce Curtiss P-40s under licence. The company instead offered to design and manufacture a better aircraft in a shorter time, and 320 of the new aircraft were ordered in March 1940. The NA-73X prototype first flew only 149 days later, in October 1940. Perhaps the most important feature of the design was a laminar flow wing which generated very low drag at high speeds. But its impressive fuel load and advanced aerodynamics would all play a part in the aircraft's later success. The P-51A entered RAF service as the Mustang Mark I, powered by an Allison V1710 engine. It was used for tactical reconnaissance and as a fighter bomber because whilst its low altitude performance was excellent, the Allison engine performed poorly at high altitude. Trials both in Britain and the US proved that replacing the Allison with a Rolls-Royce Merlin 60 supercharged engine transformed the aircraft, and all subsequent versions of the Mustang were powered by a US licence-built version of this engine, the Packard V1650. More than 15,000 aircraft were eventually built. The definitive P-51D gave the United States Army Air Force a fighter with the range and performance to escort its heavy bombers all the way to their targets deep inside Germany. The Mustang continued in service after World War II and was widely used for ground attack in the Korean War, but North Korean and Chinese MiG-15 jets took a heavy toll, and it was clear that the era of piston-engine combat aircraft was coming to a close. Nevertheless, P-51s continued to operate for many years in smaller air forces around the world, and the last operational P-51 was retired from the Dominican Air Force in 1984. Many retired P-51s went on to fly in civilian ownership, with some being converted for air racing. There are over 200 still flying in the US alone. This particular aircraft was delivered to the United States Air Force in 1951. Between 1955 and 1963, it was operated by the Nicaraguan Air Force before returning to the US with civilian registration N12066. In 1987, it arrived in the UK and was registered GSUSY.